Start, Namrata.
Good evening, everyone. I welcome you all to today's session. I, Namrata Patili, shall be the host for today's discussion. So I welcome you all again to another webinar session on community health with Enajury. So beginning with, I would like to brief you all a bit about Enajury. Enajury, in simple words, literally means the bond of love. Milind Datta is the founder of Enajury, and it is his love for his native land that brought him back from USA to Assam in order to start his non-profitable organization that engages and promotes various initiatives such as striving for social change, loving leadership skills, and building entrepreneurship capabilities among the people living in Northeast India. For a couple of months now, we have been interacting with speakers from different regions via virtual media, and we have tried to take on topics that are current and significant in today's generation. So moving forward to the reason we have gathered here today, uh, we will have a discussion on the topic tackling the increasing trend of obesity in the modern diet. So we have our guest today. Her name is Dr. Mamoni Das. She is the Dean of Faculty of Community Science, Assam Agricultural University, Jorhat. She has been an academician, researcher, and nutritionist for the last 32 years. She was a recipient of a university merit scholarship and ICAR JRF fellowship for undergoing a postgraduate program. Her area of research interest involves designing and validating novel food products having physiological and biomedical implications, proprietary foods, probiotics and gut microflora, and efficacy studies of traditional ethno-medicinal plants of the Northeast. Involved in different research projects that were funded by USAID, ICMR, ICAR, and NTRF. She has more than 65 publications in national and international journals. She is currently an EC member of the Nutrition Society of India. She was a visiting scholar at IOWA State University, IOWA Ames, USA in 2020 on a fellowship funded by the World Bank and ICAR. She also received accolades such as the University Best Teacher Award in 2017 and Excellence in Teaching from Bhim Rao Ambedkar University and SBWS in 2018. She served on the National Task Force in Anemia for ICMR and earned a fellowship from the Indian Society of Agricultural Biochemistry and contributed to international agricultural development courses. Actively involved in professional societies, she chairs conferences, edits journals, and serves on advisory committees. Recently, she is the Human Rights Commission of India nominated her as the core committee member of the Human Rights Commission for Food and Nutrition Security. So I welcome you, ma'am, to today's discussion. I would please like you to take over the screen, ma'am.
Thank you, Namrata, for reading out my biodata. And I would like to thank Priyanka and the members of Enajury for inviting me to deliver a talk on obesity and how we can tackle obesity through the modification of our diet. Just give me a few minutes to share my slides, right?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Is it visible? My slides are visible?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Okay. So I have stopped my video because of internet problem in the internet connection over my place.
Okay, ma'am.
Am I being audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
So again, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Anajori for inviting me to deliver a talk on obesity. And I think you have selected a very uh, important topic on tackling the increased incidence of obesity in our modern life and how we can cope up or prevent obesity through modification of our diets. Many research studies have shown that since the last 2 decades, there have been increase in the incidence of obesity, and we all should know that obesity is the starting point for different kind of inflammatory diseases like diabetes, atherosclerosis, different types of cardiovascular diseases like coronary heart diseases, arthritis, even Alzheimer's, and other neurodegenerative diseases. So these are totally linked with your food habits and the lifestyle to what kind of exposure our life is exposed to, what kind of style, and what environmental we are exposed to, what kind of environmental changes. So all these things play an important role in the onset of obesity. And as I told you, this is the benchmark or the starting point for different kinds of inflammatory diseases. Now, developing countries like India is undergoing a epidemiological health transition. So we are in a phase of nutrition transition because due to rapid urbanization, due to technological advancement in the food processing industries, as well as a lot of changes in our personal habits and in our lifestyle, as well as our exposure to environmental pollutants, which directly or indirectly increases the prevention of obesity-related diseases like non-communicable diseases, like mainly diabetes, different forms of cardiovascular diseases, and different types of cancers. So this type of burden is a huge economic burden, not only to the individual, it's to the individual, it's a burden to the family, it's a burden to the society, as well as it's a burden to the nation, because of the rising cost in the health in the health industry. So we all know that urbanization has led to the changes in the dietary patterns, and because as already I have told you that increased technological advancement in the food processing industries has led to the production of more calorie-rich diets that are saturated with fat, sugars, and salts. And the intake of all these energy foods have increased across all the segments of the population, particularly among the young children, school-going children, adolescents, as well as women. So this nutrition transition of consuming high energy dense foods that are saturated with fat, sugars, and salt is fueling the incidence of overweight and obesity, and which is having a negative impact on our health. Then next important thing is the global marketing strategies of the multinational companies who are producing all kinds of packaged foods. Their marketing strategy is mainly targeted on children and adolescents, as well as women, particularly in the developing countries, to promote their foods, junk foods, as well as alcohols and other, non-alcoholic beverages. So as a result, people who are socially disadvantaged, the poor people, are more vulnerable to sickness, and they are going to die sooner compared to the elite groups. So this is a burning problem in a country like India, as well as in other developing countries also. And another problem of obesity is related to lack of physical activities, smoking, and secondary exposure to tobacco, excessive alcohol use. These leads to overweight, then to obesity, then to increased level of glucose in the liver, in the blood, increased level of lipids in the blood, as well as hypertension. So by and large, these habits of consuming unhealthy diets, consuming excessive alcohol, smoking, all these things can be avoided. It can be changed. It can be modified by changing our behavior, by changing our attitudes, by changing our lifestyles. It's not that it cannot be changed. So what we choose to eat, what kind of lifestyle or physical activity we want to undergo, it is totally depend on our behavior and our attitude towards the life. And indeed, it is a modifiable change. We can change our behavior, we can change our lifestyle to lead a more healthy and meaningful life. Now, talking about obesity, you see, first we should know what is this obesity. So we all know that obesity is mainly defined as the abnormal and excessive fat accumulation, which may have a negative impact on the health. And it is measured by BMI, that is called as body mass index. So this is a simple index of weight for height, and commonly used to classify whether a person is an overweight person or a person is an obese person. So usually we calculate body mass index by a very simple formula, that is weight in kg divided by height in meter square. So see, if your BMI, weight in kg divided by height in meter square. So if your BMI is 18.5, that is, if it is less than 18.5, you will be classified as an underweight individual. If your BMI is within 8.5 to 24.9, you are a normal individual. If your BMI is 25 to 29.9, you are overweight. If it is between 30 to 34.9, you are obese. And if it is more than 30, if your BMI is more than 30, then you are classified as an extremely obese person. So this is one of body mass index is one of the best way to find out in which category do we fall. Are we normal in weight? Are we overweight? Are we obese? Or are we extremely obese? Sometimes the weight measuring machine may give some error in reading, but if we calculate the BMI, it will give you the exact figure and exact way of detecting in which category of BMI you fall, whether you are an overweight or an obese or an extremely obese person or an underweight or a normal individual. So there are different types of obesity. One second. Okay, there are different types of obesity. So one is the apple-shaped obesity and one is the pear-shaped obesity. This apple-shaped obesity is mostly common in males, whereas pear-shaped obesity is mostly seen in women. Now, in apple-shaped obesity, you see there is excess amount of fat is accumulated above your waistline. That is the belly region. And it is associated with excess visceral and subcutaneous fat. Then your abdominal girth is bigger than your hip circumference. And this type of person with apple-shaped obesity are more susceptible to develop different kinds of metabolic syndromes and other related health problems. Coming to women, they have a pear-shaped body where there is excess amount of fat accumulation below the waistline, whereas in male it is above the waistline. In case of women, it is below the waistline. So here the waist is relatively thinner as compared to apple-shaped, but the hips are larger in case of women and more commonly associated with subcutaneous fat. So even if a woman has a pear-shaped body, they may not be associated with metabolic syndrome in certain cases, whereas men with apple-shaped body are highly susceptible to the development of metabolic syndromes. But it may not be same in case of women. Women may due to other reasons, may also have pear-shaped bodies. So men with apple-shaped obesity are more susceptible to develop metabolic syndromes like diabetes, CVD, and different types of cancers. Now, when you see the prevalence, global prevalence of obesity, we see that 39 million children globally are obese, 340 million adolescents, and 650 million adults, they are obese globally. Now, more than 1 billion people worldwide are obese, and this number is increasing day by day. And the World Health Organization, it has estimated that by 2025, approximately 167 million people, adults and children, will be less healthy. That means there will be more amount of obese personnel. Mainly they are because they will be unhealthy because they are either overweight or obese. Now, coming to India, so according to NFHS 5 statistics, that is National Family Health Statistics, 23% of women and 22.1% of men are overweight as per BMI criteria. And many findings have shown that the status of abdominal obesity reveals that 40% of women and 12% of men are abdominally obese in the country. In India, it is said that women, abdominal obesity is more in women compared to men. And NFHS 5 data has also reported that the prevalence of overweight in children below 5 years of age is more, and it is increasing from 2.1% in 2015-16 to 3.4% in 19 to 21. So this is the thing that has to be taken very seriously, because overweight and obesity in children who are below 5 years is really an area of concern for each parents. Now, in India, through my experience in working in rural areas, in urban areas, and in semi-urban areas, I have observed through my 32 years of experience that in many households it is practiced that showing love to your children is by bringing a packet of chocolate, by bringing a packet of chips, or by bringing a packet of kurkure. So this is how the parents show to their children that, yes, we love you. We have gone to the market, we have gone for shopping. These are the things we have bought for you. No, that is not a sign of love. That is the sign of putting or endangering the life of your children. Because that food habit that you are developing in your children at a very vulnerable age, and when these children becomes adolescents or young adults, that will be translated to your, overweight, obesity, leading to the onset of different non-communicable disease. So in 80% of the rural households, in urban households, in the poor families or in the middle income families, except for the high income families, you will see that the parents show their love for their children by bringing these foodstuffs, which we call it as HFSS food, that is foods high in fat, salt, and sugar. These are the killer foods. So now a lot of awareness should be through NGOs like you, a lot of awareness should be spread through different villages or blocks where you are working. A lot of good nutrition education should be imparted. Awareness programs should be arranged to make them aware about the ill effects of feeding a child with foods that are rich in fat, rich in sugar, and rich in salt. Salt is the chips and kurkures, or your sugars, the cookies and everything, and fat, even these chips, kurkures, they are also rich in, pizzas and burgers, these are all rich in fat. So I think it's one of the duties of NGOs like Anjuri to spread to spread awareness among the mothers who are the caretakers of the small children, that how this is going to have an ill effect on their child when he grows up. So this is my request to all of you to create awareness about the ill effects of consuming high foods that are high in salt, sugar, and fat. Now, if you see the rising obesity in India, in case of men and women, or everywhere, there is an increasing trend from 20 to 24% in 20. In 15-16, it was 20.6%. Now, in 20 data, it is 24. Even in male, it has increased from 18 to 22.9% in 2019 to 2022. Now, we coming to the obesity-related disorders. There are many. I told you, obesity, overweight, obesity. Again, I repeat, it is the starting point of any kind of, metabolic syndrome and non-communicable diseases. Type 2 diabetes, CVD, hypertension, osteoarthritis, hyperlipidemia, and other diseases. Later on, it may also affect your kidneys. And the other underlying factors of obesity are overeating and food addiction. Then sedentary lifestyles, social deprivation. Now the young adults you have observed, or I think those who are attending this webinar are all young adults. You will agree with me that all of you must be having a sedentary lifestyle, because if you are a working young adult, you sleep at around 2 p.m. at night, 2 a.m. It's not p.m., 2 a.m. and you wake up at 11 o'clock. This is the trend in every household in India. There is a destruction in the sleep cycle. In my house also, when I have my lunch, my son, he wakes up to have his brunch because he misses his breakfast. But from the nutrition point of view, we never encourage people to, omit breakfast. Breakfast is the essential necessity in a person's life. So in today's generation, most of the young adults or adolescents, they have the practice of skipping their breakfast directly because they wake up late. They have the habit of having brunch, neither breakfast nor lunch, and always in front of the computer or in front of the TV, or always or in their mobile, busy with their social platform. So this is a accurate example of sedentary lifestyle and social deprivation. So now the mobile is it's a 24/7 companion for everybody. So we don't mingle socially. So our social connections are decreasing. We don't have connectivity with our neighbors, with our friends. Once in a while we have, but 20 years back, during my father's time, we have a lot of social contacts, group contacts. So now the entire scenario is being changed, whether it is your eating habits, whether it is your lifestyle habits, whether it is your social interaction habits, everything has been changing. And even if a person with a family history may also is more prone to obesity, then misinformation online. See, now whether it is the Google is the living Bible, isn't it? It's a Gita. Everybody, if you want to have gather certain information, everybody logs into the Google, whether it is the Google or the TV or the social media, anything, there's so much of information. We call infodemics. There is bombardment of information. Informations are coming from so many channels. So we are confused. We don't know which information is correct, which information is wrong. So that is also due to misinformation from different channels regarding food habits or what to take, dietary patterns or nutrients that may also lead to obesity. Then, if a person is in a long-term medication, that may also lead to obesity. Then another important cause of obesity is stress. And stress may also lead to obesity. Now see, unhealthy, I will give more emphasis on unhealthy eating behaviors, because now you see people eat more calories than what you require. Then we eat too much of saturated fat. But in books, according to RDA, that is recommended dietary allowances for Indians, only your 10% of your calories should come from your fat. So for example, if it is a 2 calorie, if we are prescribed with a 2000 calorie diet, Only 22 grams or 22 ml of fat is to be consumed in a day. But the question is, are we consuming 22 ml of fat or more than that? Obviously, more than that. So everybody, including me also, we are having more amount of saturated fat and we are eating more calories than it is required. Then we are also eating foods that are added with sugars. That you think that, yes, I have, if you ask somebody, yes, I have taken fruit juice. What? I have taken real fruit juice, and so many brand of fruit juices are, but these are loaded with sugar and artificial sweeteners and artificial flavoring agent. Whereas only 10% of calories should come from, sugar. The sugar that is recommended is between 25 to 30 grams, 25 grams per day. But we're consuming more than that. See how much excess amount of calories, fats, and sugars we are consuming in our daily diet. So this is a real time for youngsters like you to check on that how much calories you are putting on into your body, how much fat you are putting onto your body, and how much sugar you are putting onto your body. It is a reality check for all of you. Then, as I told you, not getting enough good sleep. See, we all know that we need at least minimum 7 hours of good sleep, good quality sleep per night. Because if we are not having good sleep for 7 hours, so it can affect the hormones that control the hunger pangs or hunger urges. That means, in other words, if you're not having good sleep, our hormone, there's a dysfunction in the hormones, so we will be overeating and will not be able to recognize our body's signal, even we are full. So this is how we are overeating. So for that, proper sleep of 8 hours is very essential for that. Then is high amount of stress. We know that long-term stress, whether it is a long-term stress or a short-term stress, can affect the brain. And, the brain triggers the secretion of different hormones, such as cortisol. And the cortisol is such hormones that controls our energy balance and hunger. If there is more production of cortisol, so there will be more hunger pangs. Even if you are full, we'll feel like eating, and there will be a negative energy balance in our body. So these hormones can really make us eat more and store more amount of calories. So we need to decrease our stress. Now the question is, how do we decrease our stress? Definitely, to decrease our stress, I feel we have to get ourselves involved with some kind of physical activities. Whether it's a game or running, walking, yoga, swimming, whatever it may be, at least for 30 minutes a day. If not a day, at least try to do 30 minutes of exercise, anything for thrice a week or 4 times a week. If you can do daily, it's well and good. If not, thrice a week or 4 times a day. So that will really regulate the hormone and it will be in a lesser stressful condition. So I told you already that saturated consumption of more amount of saturated fat, trans fat. Now you see whether it is in Guwahati or any other city, Delhi, Mumbai, you will see a lot of street foods of pav bhajis, or you have those choles, pakoras, anything. And these pakoras, chops, these are rich in trans fats. And these are really harmful for our arteries. So these create the blockade of the arteries that may lead to atherosclerosis. So I always tell my students and others that our diet should be a combination of different fats. So good quality fats like polyunsaturated fats, the combination of polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, and saturated. So we should be careful while selecting fats for our daily consumption. So another factor contributing to obesity is a highly processed food, high sodium or salt intake, energy dense, refined starches. Your pastas and burgers, they are made from refined flour, so they have starches in it. They contribute to more amount of carbs than sugary beverages, meat and dairy products. So all this leads to obesity, and obesity in later life will be translated to non-communicable diseases. So I'm talking about HFSS food. So let's see what are these HFSS food. That means foods that are rich in fat, sugar, and salt. So these are defined as foods. That means any food or drink, whether they are packaged or non-packaged, which contains low amount of proteins, vitamins, phytochemicals, minerals, dietary fiber, but they are rich in fat, that is saturated fatty acids, salt and sugar, and they are energy dense or rich in energy. So these type of foods are classified as food, HFSS foods, and they are known to have negative impact on health if they are consumed in a on regular basis. For example, I told you it may be French fries, chips, samosas, all those chole bhaturas, gulab jamuns, sweetened, sugar sweetened, carbonated, non-carbonated beverages, your pizzas, burgers, noodles, any type of confectionery items, sugar-based products. These are all HFSS foods. But here, my dear friends, I would like to stress that whatever few foods which are sold in the streets may not be a junk food or a food that is rich in HFSS. For example, momos. We don't call momos as a junk food or a food that is rich in fat, sugar, or salt. So momo is quite a healthy food. So among street food also, you have options to select the good quality food that is beneficial to you, though it is made from refined flours. So you should consume in moderate amount. Not every day, not frequently, but in moderate amount, you can go for momos if you are a, if you like eating foods. So you have options for that. Now, another reason contributing to obesity is health conditions. So if you have other health conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome, so this type of medical conditions also causes people to gain weight. Okay, then genetics is one of the factors. So it is found that around 15 genes can influence obesity. So many studies have shown that genetics definitely play a role in obesity in people who are overweight, and people with greater with genetic with a genetic with a case history, or his father being obese or his grandfather being an obese, so definitely he is more susceptible to develop obesity, making his lifestyle at more risk of at developing. If it is not controlled, if it is an uncontrolled obesity, he is more likely to develop the non-communicable diseases. Always relate that obesity is the starting point of non-communicable diseases, any inflammatory diseases. So at any cost, we have to control our weight. Then obviously medicines also. People who are on medicine, that can on like antidepressant or antipsychotic medicines or beta blockers, they may also lead to, these are other conditions other than dietary habits of food that may also lead to obesity. Even the environment contributes to obesity. How? So where you are living, with what kind of people you are mingling, in what kind of home situation you are, that also contributes to unhealthy eating and lack of physical activity. So your environment also contributes to obesity. Now, what are the solutions for tackling obesity and obesity-related risk? Now, see, there is always, we all know that there's a link between food, nutrition, diet, and your health status. So food is always related to, food can increase your blood pressure, it can increase your blood cholesterol, it can increase your blood glucose level, it can lead to insulin resistance, both food and diet. So that will lead to affect your nutritional status, and it can lead to non-communicable diseases if your food is not balanced. If your food is not natural, if you are on a more highly processed food or packaged food or ready to eat food or ready to cook food. So this will certainly, that type of food and the diet will certainly increase your blood pressure, increase your blood cholesterol level, increase your blood sugar level. That will lead to insulin resistance. Then it will affect your health status, leading to non-communicable diseases. But if your diet is balanced, and if you are judiciously selecting good natural foods rather than the packaged and the refined foods like your nutri-cereals, a lot of legumes, pulses, lot of vegetables, fruits, definitely those kind of food and those kind of diet will decrease your blood cholesterol. It will maintain your blood cholesterol level. It will maintain your blood glucose level, and it will prevent the onset of non-communicable diseases. So it totally depends on you what kind of food or diet you select. So one of the important, nutrient that can prevent or help in reducing obesity is the dietary fiber. So these are what is we will not go into science into in-depth science, but dietary fiber, you should always know that it is mainly present in nutri-cereals, pulses, oil seeds, nuts and oil seeds, fruits, fresh fruits and vegetables, green leafy vegetables. So in general, these are the rich source of fibers. Now, when you consume a diet that is rich in fiber, fiber we have soluble, insoluble, whatever it may be. But when we are eating a diet that is rich in fiber, fiber doesn't get digested in the small intestine. So it passes into larger intestine. It absorbs water. It forms a gel-like consistency, and it absorbs the circulating glucose, circulating, lipids, cholesterol, and the undigested part, it is thrown out of the body. Thereby, along with it also brings in it. It will form a gel-like structure. So your bile salts, bile acids, your sugar, your lipids will get entrapped to it, and it will be thrown out of the body. So in that way, how this fiber regulates your blood glucose level, your cholesterol level, your other lipids level. So our diet should be rich in dietary fiber. And from where do we get this dietary fiber? We get this dietary fiber from nutri-cereals, legumes and pulses, from nuts and oil seeds, from fresh fruits and vegetables, and fresh green leafy vegetables, whether it is a light green leafy vegetables or a dark green leafy vegetables. Just remember that our diet has to be balanced, and it has to be rich in dietary fiber to maintain our weight. So now you see, you must have observed that if you have a diabetic person in your family, they always have the habit of consuming oats, right? A lot of people consume oats. Why they consume oats? Because oats is rich in fiber. Now, what type of fiber is present in oats? That is the beta-glucans. This is one of the factors that beta-glucan can regulate your blood glucose level. The simple example I'm giving you. So this is how these are the beneficial effects of dietary fiber. So the health benefits of dietary fibers are that, it adds bulk to the diet. Even if you eat smaller portion, it makes you feel fuller. Then it absorbs water, turns to gel during digestion. I told you it traps the carbohydrate, the lipids, fats, and glucose. It lowers your LDL level, your total cholesterol level. It will regulate your blood pressure. It will prevent, constipation. Then it will also balance the intestinal pH, and the stimulates intestinal fermentation. So in this way, fiber is foods that are rich in fiber is beneficial to health. Another how we can tackle obesity is by consuming a diverse diet. That is dietary diversification. We cannot have a monotonous, diet of rice, chawal, and dal, and sabzi. It has to be diverse. So we always, as a nutritionist, I also emphasize that we should have a rainbow diet. That means our diet has to be colorful. Our diet should contain red colored fruits and vegetables, it orange color, green color, purple color. It should be a combination of different colors. So when I say rainbow diet, so I say rainbow R, it should be rich in rain A, antioxidants, R for rich, A for antioxidants, I for iron. That's my definition of rainbow diet. And for it has to be rich in nutrients. The food has to be natural. Then it enhances brain functioning, or it should be rich in omega fatty acid and W. It's overall the diet should enhance our wellness. So that is your rainbow diet. So diet has to be diverse if to reduce obesity and obesity related risk factors.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry for the interruption, ma'am. Your slides are not changing.
Slides are not
It's
changing.
still on the first slide.
Oh, wait, I think there is some.
Ma'am, your slides are not changing. It's still on the first slide.
Oh, wait, there is, I think there is, a problem with my net connections. One sec, just hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
One second. So in which slide you are seeing, which slide? Dietary diversification slide. Can you see that?
No, ma'am. We are seeing the first slide.
Achha, it's not moving. I think in my house the net connections is very poor.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, let's see. Let me see whether I can fix the problem or not. One sec. Hello, Namrata.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, it's visible now.
Can you see that prevalence of obesity? That slide, can you see?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I have you have missed so many slides. Anyways, so let's one sec. We are what a silo tackling obesity. One sec. Can you see that dietary diversification slide?
Yes, ma'am. We can see.
Okay. Slide. Acha, I will keep it like this only slide. So I think if I do slides, so you will not be able to see the slides, right?
Okay, fine, ma'am.
Is it visible now?
Ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, okay then. Slide में slide. It was my one sec, one sec, one sec. Is it visible, Namrata?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Okay. Is my voice being audible?
Ma'am, yes, you are audible.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah, one sec. Yes. Okay. So I said that we should always have a rainbow diet. So I just shared with you what does rainbow means to me. So always see that your plate is always colorful. Now this slide shows that you see we have around 35 animal species but we are consuming only say 3 to 5 animal species. So we will not go into the animal species, but we have thousands of plant species, only 12 crops we are consuming, and rest are neglected and underused. So therefore, when I was talking about dietary fiber, therefore, we are giving more emphasis on millets. So now, as a nutritionist and as a member of the Agriculture University across India, globally, we are trying to convert the fodder into feed. Because millets, whether it is there are so many types of millets are there, isn't it? Jawar, bajra, foxtail millets, proso millet, finger millet, so many kinds of millets. So these millets are your nutricillets because they are rich in dietary fiber. And if you're consuming millet, very small amount of millet can give you, it can fulfill your hunger, unlike the rice. So millets, they're very rich in, they are environmental friendly plants. They fix nitrogen. They are rich in dietary fibers. They are rich in antioxidant. They are rich in antioxidant vitamins like, selenium and zinc. So these are the treasure house of nutrients. For obesity and obesity related disorders, we should include millets in our diet because of its nutritional properties. It is traditional plant. It is very, very natural. It is very, very organic, and it is a treasure house of nutrients. So inclusion of millets in our diet can definitely help us in reducing our weight and in obesity or overweight related risks. So inclusion of millet in our diet is very important. Now, the third way of, tackling obesity is that you all must have heard about Mediterranean diet. So Mediterranean diet is an evidence-based healthy diet. It is an evidence-based healthy diet. A lot of studies have been done on this diet, and therefore it is called as an evidence-based healthy diet because this Mediterranean diet, this type of diet existed in countries surrounding the Mediterranean Sea, like France, Italy, Spain, Morocco, Greece. So in those countries, there are very low incidence of obesity and obesity-related risks like non-communicable diseases. So this is a good example for countries like India, like people like India, to explore back our rich traditional food system that existed during our grandparents' time. So we should shift from a more refined food system to the more traditional food system of eating. This is only one of the most sustainable and important way of preventing obesity and obesity-related disorders. Now, when you see the Mediterranean diet pyramid, the lowest they're giving more emphasis on physical activity. Dancing, playing, group activity, walking, jogging. See, you can see the pyramid. So they give more emphasis on physical activity. Then the second, you see the diet pattern of those countries, mainly fresh fruits and vegetables. Then, fish, the sea fish, because they are a rich source of omega fatty acids. Then you see as the pyramid is decreasing and minimal use of refined cereals, fats, that they also recommend, Mediterranean diet also recommend the use of red wines because they are rich in, antioxidants. And they emphasize on drinking more amount of water. So this evidence-based diet shows that countries like India, where we have a traditional, very rich traditional food system, we should come back to our original traditional food system or original pattern, eating pattern. Previously people used to eat millets, but due to the technological revolution in the food industry and in the entire the global scenario, these people stopped growing millets. So they used to feed to the animals. Now again, a time has come due to increased incidence of obesity and obesity related disorders. And we know that by 2030, India is going to be a diabetic capital. It's a high time the government is emphasizing on millet. So we have a national millet mission program, because this is a treasure house of nutrients. That this shows what? This shows that yes, we are coming back to our traditional food system, which is very healthy, very organic, very natural, and it contains all the essential nutrients that is required by a human body to maintain a life. So this Mediterranean diet is one such diet which can prevent obesity, because obviously it will prevent. From the picture you can see we are giving more emphasis on physical activity and consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables. So here I would like to emphasize that not only consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables, the method of cooking is also very important. So here only minimally processed or cooked foods are used. Mostly are fresh and raw, and the method of cooking is your baking, one of the healthiest method of cooking, which preserves all the nutrients. So this is one of the diet. So what are the benefits of this Mediterranean diet? Because this diet is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, it has anti-cancer properties, it is a storehouse of antioxidants, it is rich in fibers, it is rich in vitamins, minerals, thereby it can prevent obesity and obesity-related disorders like cardiovascular disease, diabetes. Then it can also cure inflammatory bowel syndromes, different type of neurodegenerative disease, because now by again another important disease that is arising in condition that is arising in developing countries like India is your Alzheimer's and dementia. So these are your neurodegenerative diseases. So by following a Mediterranean diet pattern, we can definitely prevent the onset of neurodegenerative diseases, and it can also delay the aging process. So these are so many benefits of a plant-based vegetarian diet, and Mediterranean diet is a good example of a plant-based diet. Another important diet to tackle obesity is your DASH diet. DASH is dietary approaches to stop hypertension. So similar, this DASH diet is rich in fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. They are low in fats, red meat, poultry. Then here they prescribe limited use of sugar and sweetened fruits. And this diet encouraged to reduce the intake of salt like sodium. So both this Mediterranean diet and DASH diet can really prevent obesity and obesity-related disorders. Okay, now Namrata, is the slides available? Okay, visible? Sorry, is it visible?
Yes, it's visible.
So now, as my today's audience, I would like to emphasize on this important aspect that each one of us should understand the need to read food labeling. Most of us, when you go to a supermarket or a departmental store, we don't have the habit of reading the food labels. But as a youngsters, I think today all the audiences are youngsters, but as a youngsters, we should make it a habit of reading the food labels, because all the information about that particular food is mentioned in either at the back of the packet or at the front of the packet. So what is a food label? So it is the information presented on the food product. So that is a direct means of communicating information to the consumer. So the producer is providing all the information about that particular food product, and that producer is communicating by providing the information to the consumer. So there's no fault with the manufacturer, because he's providing all the information, how much calorie, fat, everything else. It's the consumer, that is we We are making a mistake because we pick up the food from from the departmental stores or the supermarkets without reading the food label. Because the manufacturer will tell, because even in cigarette, no, it is written, no, cigarette smoking is injurious to health, but knowing that, still we smoke. Same thing as with the food product, highly processed food, all the informations are given in the packet, but no one reads it. So it is the fault of the consumer, not of the manufacturer. So we should make it a habit of reading the food label. So not reading the food label and buying the food is also a contributing factor to obesity, because we don't know how much calorie that particular food product is providing. So the information what the manufacturer is providing in the food is about the ingredients, what are the ingredients they have used, the quality and the nutritional value of the food products. They provide. It's up to us, the consumers, how to select the food items after reading the food labels. So everybody should make it a practice. If those who are attending this webinar, I think from tomorrow, if you go and buy any food product, you should make it a habit to read the food label as a conscious consumer. Because manufacturer is giving, it's us who we are not reading the food label. Okay. So therefore I ask the question, is reading food labeling important? Obviously it is important, because the information on food label is intended to help consumer. It is to help us to become very smart and savvy in selecting our food products. So the food information are given in the front of the food pack, in the back, and the side of the packets are filled with information to inform us what the food contains and to provide the guidance in making the healthier selections of the processed foods. So there is no, we cannot blame the manufacturer. It is us. We should know how to read the food label and how to select the food that is good for us, to go for the healthier options of the food. So this I have seen in some food bags. In the bag of this, I think the cheese packet, and everywhere the nutrition facts are given. In all the food packs you have to see this licensing of FSI, this ISI. All these are logos of these are standards. So if the product fulfills these standards, then only they can use these logos. And then in some food products, you will have these red, yellow, green. Red means probably it is very high in salt or fat. So we should know how to read these food labels before purchasing the food. If you are a conscious consumer, definitely you will read the food label, and that will help you to select the right kind of foods. Now, another, you see, the nutrition fact is given. First, they will give you the serving size. Number one is, see, suppose this packet, if you are buying, it is written 8 serving per container. That means 8 people can eat it. But due to our lack of knowledge, what will happen? You buy this thing, at least I think one person will finish it in 1 or 2 servings. That means imagine how much calorie and fat and everything has gone into his body. So reading the nutrition level is very important to make the right choices of the food. Then you see the serving size is given. That means we should just, this is only suitable, one serving is only 55 grams. So that 55 grams will give you 230 calories. So it will give you 8 grams fat. So that 8 grams fat that is coming through 55 grams of that product will fulfill 10% of your daily fat requirement. This is how you read the food labels. Then this one serving will give you, say, here they have given no cholesterol, 0 cholesterol. Okay, sodium 160 milligram. So one serving, that is 55 grams of this product, if you consume, will give you, say, 160 milligram of sodium. That means that 55 grams will fulfill 7% of your daily requirement of your sodium. So this is how, if you are a conscious consumer, you can really control your diet, the selection of foods and foodstuff for maintaining a very, healthy lifestyle. So from tomorrow onwards, you make it mandatory to read the food label, because everything is mentioned there. It's us, the consumers, which are not aware about the reading of the food label. So they will also give you how much daily requirement it is fulfilling. So here another is, I think another serving size. So it's the per serving it is 240 calories. The serving size, this whole packet is for 4 servings per container. Serving size will give you 8 grams. So sometimes what happens, so for my own experience, I have seen, no, if a person buys such kind of food products, you will see that the packet is very small and in one time he will finish off. So if you finish this packet at one time, imagine the amount of calories that you have consumed in one meal. So it's very important to read the nutrition facts to know exactly how much fat we are consuming from that particular product, how much cholesterol that product contains, how much sugar that contains, dietary fiber it contains, salt it contains, and if how much vitamin D it contains according to the foods. Suppose calcium and vitamin D will be available in milk packets, in dairy products, not in meat products. So it depends for, or it will differ from product to product. So what my suggestion is that nutrition facts, nutrition labeling should be read very carefully before purchasing anything and before anything you consume. So at least you will know what you are consuming in a day. If you are supposed to consume 2000 calories per day. So I told you, for the different lifestyle, this is for 30 minutes, this much of amount of calories you will burn through different activities, whether it is swimming or jogging or playing or bicycling, hiking, basketballs. So whether it is, so for 30 minutes of exercise is sufficient to maintain a, healthy physical activity. So in conclusion, I would like to say that, we should have a diversified food basket containing all the natural foods. Natural food means here I am omitting the packaged food, because as a nutritionist, I'm very conscious of buying the packaged food because I know they are rich in fat, sugar, and salt. Okay. Then, the World Food Summit in 1996 stressed the importance of inclusion of natural foods to improve the quality of diversity. So the more natural foods you are incorporating to our diet is becoming more diverse. If our diet is becoming more diverse, it indicates that we are consuming good amount of vitamins, minerals, antioxidant, fiber, and other vitamins and minerals. That will ensure, if your diet is diverse, it will definitely ensure that you are consuming a good proportionate of antioxidants, your fiber, your vitamins and minerals. Those are the storehouse, the protective food items. And for today's presentation, the take-home message is that nutrition plays a very pragmatic and decisive role in contributing to human health, strengthening resilience, and extending the period of being free from any kind of non-communicable diseases. Then each one of us should adopt a more comprehensive, healthy, and sustainable life approach. So whatever we are adapting, if it is an eating habit or a physical habit, it has to be sustainable. So we are eating a diversified diet for 6 months, and next 6 months we are eating food that are rich in HFSs. So that is not a sustainable life approach. So each individual we all should have a sustainable life approach through our life cycle. Then consumption and promotion of traditional food habits. So this I emphasize on Anajori, because you work for the community. Please promote the cultivation of traditional foods as well as the consumption traditional foods. In Assam, we have faced a problem that many minor fruits which were indigenous to the state of Assam are less, because Again, due to rapid urbanization and technological advancement in the food processing industry, people are, food is associated with status. People will never feel happy to say that today I have taken an amla. In fact, people will be happy to show his status that yes, today I have consumed strawberries, I have taken cranberries. Whereas the local amla is 10% more. It has more nutritive value or antioxidant capacity than strawberry or your cranberries, because food is associated with status. So it's a time has come that we should feel very proud. I myself, if you ask me, I feel very proud to say that, yes, I consume my local indigenous food. I take dhekia, I take amloki, I take omora. If some Assamese are there, they will understand what I am speaking about. I feel very proud because I'm being local and I'm promoting local foods. Now, the status symbol is eating natural, promoting local foods, promoting the farmers to cultivate the traditional foods, which are being lost because they are the treasure house of nutrients. Then another message is that shifting to a more healthy, diverse diet, like the Mediterranean diet, including the nutri-cereals, fruits, different types of vegetables, nuts and oil seeds, which are rich in fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, omega fatty acids, and minerals. And one more thing is for tackling obesity, I forgot to mention, is that we have to control the portion size, the amount of food we are consuming. Now, what I suggest in any lecture, wherever they invite me, I always say that now we have shifted from the full plate to quarter plate. Even if I go for a party now, I don't go for the full plate, I go for the quarter plate, because if it is a quarter plate, plate is small, so my portion size will be less, isn't it? And that is sufficient for me to survive. So portioning and your plate size is very important to maintain your weight and to reduce. If you are overweight or reduce, the portion size, portion controlling is very important. So from a full plate, shift on to a quarter plate. So this is my plate concept according to National Institute of Nutrition. See, now our plate should be, half of the plate should be filled with fruits. If you really want to tackle obesity and obesity related disorder, our plate, the face of a plate has to change. Previously, what happened? Half of the plate was filled with what? Rice. Now half of the plate is with fresh fruits and vegetables. Then rest, see, 260 grams of nutri-cereals, then see only 25 grams of fats, 30 grams of nuts and oil seeds. So 85 grams of pulses, eggs, and flesh. If you're taking egg, it is only 30 grams of pulses, then fruits 100 grams per day, vegetables 400 grams per day. But the question arises that the fruits are very costly. Therefore, I've been emphasizing that let's shift to the traditional foods that are locally available, even the vegetables. So this is, I request, if you are promoting community health or community nutrition, I request the members of Anajori that you have to promote the My Plate concept, where 50% of the plate should be filled with fresh fruits, vegetables, rich in antioxidant, colorful, rainbow. Okay. So lastly, I would like to conclude that by saying that plant-based foods are of great importance, not only for the nutrition of human beings, but to protect the environment as well as the Mother Earth, to save our planet. Now, the whole world is thinking about sustainable life, sustainable nutrition, sustainable agriculture, sustainable environment and resources. Just a decade ago, we have started talking just 10 years back. But here in my department, in my college, Department of Food Science and Nutrition, Assam Agricultural University, we have been always dedicated and directed towards this sustainable nutrition more than 2 decades. And we have been focusing in our research projects, we have been focusing on development of plant-based supplements and functional foods to tackle obesity and other non-communicable diseases. So with this, I conclude my today's session, and I would like to offer my thanks to all the members of Anajari for giving me an opportunity to interact with the members of today's webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. All the slides were really very informative and detailed. We are actually honored to have you today as our guest. So, ma'am, as you know that we are time bound and it is already time.
Yes.
Yeah, we would like to conclude this session today here
Yeah, thank you so
and
much.
to have a session with you again in the future. So, ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank
With
you.
this, I would like to conclude. Thank you,
Yeah,
ma'am.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.